Hello everybody and welcome back to another video. First things first, if you wouldn't mind giving me a like and a subscribe, I would really appreciate it. And whilst you're down there, let me know how you are feeling out of 10. This week, I would have been like a 9.5, and I'm saying I'm an 8.5. I've had a pretty good week, but there's been some highs and lows. There's been two main lows. The first one is we had a stillborn calf out of a heifer, which was really annoying. Dad was there when it was born. There was nothing wrong with the calf, nothing wrong with how it was born. It was a perfect calving, apart from the fact that when it came out, it was completely lifeless, which is just really irritating. Not a lot anyone could really have done about it. The second low of the week was an advert that I saw on the television on Tuesday night, and it was a vegan advert. It was an advert for a vegan charity called Viva, and I'll explain a bit more about it later on in the video. I'm gonna have a bit of a rant, but I did have some good stuff come out of it, so stay tuned for that. High of the week, I've just got a few things done that really needed to get done this week. I've got a shed emptied that I've been desperate to get emptied for a little project we've got going on. So that was really good. And then there's just loads of little bits and pieces as well. So can't really complain. And with that said, without further ado, I hope you enjoy the video. What we are thinking of doing is we are going to make a maternity unit for the cows along this wall. So we're gonna make some individual pens, 5 of them along here. There used to be a feed trough for sheep because we used to lamb the sheep under this shed years ago. And Dad's got rid of the feed trough last week, and he's took out all the posts, and then he's actually sunk in this pillar just here. And we're going to cast a wall in at that end because there used to be a brick wall there, and the brick wall just sat on top of the floor. It didn't have any foundations or anything, and it had moved. It'd been moved years ago. So we took that down, and we're going to put a proper cast wall in so that we can push up to that when we're mucking out and so on. And then we're going to have 5 individual 10-foot square pens along here, because what normally happens is if we have a heifer or whatever that has a cesarean, or if it's not taken to its calf too well, we keep them in the gangway along by the cattle crush, which is okay. But when we come to feed and stuff in the morning, we have to then go and put them in the parlour or put them in a yard and then get them back out again, and it just becomes a bit of a faff. So we want to have a nice little maternity unit along here so that any cows with calves that need more attention, we can stick them in here and just have them separate. So they're not going to be in the way of when we're feeding and so on, and then they're going to just have their own little pens. We have now created a bit of a lattice pattern with some rebar, and we actually ran out of rebar for the middle bit, so we've put some small bits of rebar and then put some pipes on top. And you'll notice that black pipe down there. That black pipe is so that we have a hole in the wall when we put the shuttering up. So any water that's on the other side of that wall can sort of run back into here and come to the drains, because there's one drain here and there's another drain further down. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go get some shuttering panels, and we're going to put 2 shuttering panels high, so we're going to 4 foot high and start filling with concrete. We're gonna have to bring them in with the fork truck though, because getting them down the yard is really narrow, because we're in the narrow part of the yard just there. So we're gonna have to bring them in on the sling on the front of the fork truck. Should be exciting. So now we've got all of the shuttering up, everything is ready to go, everything's bolted in all nicely. Should, in theory, work well. I should actually mention, the other reason why we got rid of the old wall is because it wasn't actually square with that wall. It used to come on the angle, and it used to come in a bit, so the pens wouldn't have been square and everything. Just loads better to get rid of it. We're gonna go set up now to fill the bucket up with some concrete, and hopefully we'll fill that in this afternoon. And it should all be ready to set for the rest of the week. And we then got to make some eyes for putting all the hurdles in. And we're also going to do some sort of gates across there, so that when we run, because if you don't realise where this shed is, essentially when we go out that door there, that goes round the other side of this brick building is the gangway where we have all of the cattle race. So we would be able to run and manage straight out of there and into here really easily. But we want some sort of gateways across those gaps, some of the gates, some barrier or something, to stop the cows running through and into where all the wood is and stuff. So we're gonna have to do something with that, but probably not this week. And there it is, the finished article. We've got the wall, the shuttering all down, the wall is up, solid as a rock, that is. The reason why we didn't go 6 foot and go to the top of the post there is because we want to be able to sort of see in when we're walking past, just keep our eye on things. But what we are going to do is we're going to put 2 bars across, kind of about the same height as where these cattle herder bars are, along the top, just so that nothing wants to jump it. I don't think it will anyway, because it's not going to get a big enough run up. We're going to have 5 pens along here, and you can see on the wall where we've kind of marked, this is about where the pen will end, the first pen. So there'll be square pens using those hurdles, and then I've got the new Bateman cattle hurdles coming in, ones where they've got a self-locking yoke in one end and a gate. I'll show you them if they turn up this week, but I don't think they will, but as soon as they do, I will show you them. So I'll have 5 pens, there'll be one there, another one here, and they'll be all along this wall, right to the end, which is just here. We'll have a nice set of pens then, so we can keep everything contained along here. On the wall here, what we're gonna have is some like pipe brackets. We're just gonna raw bolt them to the wall, or probably actually bolt through. So we'll drill right through the wall and put a bolt on the other side, because we don't want a cow to hit it and pull any wall plugs out. So that's probably what we'll do. And the reason why we'll use pipe brackets as well is because if we come to mucking this out and we've took all of the panels down, we were worried if we put brackets that kind of look like this, like eyes on the wall, that we could catch them on tyres and things, and then we end up with, you know, tyre problems or blowouts or whatever. So if we put pipe brackets, if we do catch one, it won't burst our tyre, which I think will be quite good. Oh, another thing we're gonna do, actually, when I think about it, is we're gonna put lights along that top wooden beam, if you can see it there. We're gonna put an individual light above every pen, so that if we do have a cow in here, the glory of those Bateman cattle hurdle gate things is that you could cesarean a cow in there or carve a cow, so we can have a good light. So that's something else we're gonna do. Every pen's gonna have its own light. And there we go. They're all up, all sorted. We haven't got the lights up yet. We haven't got the gates behind me, but they are here and ready to be used if we need them, which is probably the most important thing now we are calving. They are going to be probably the most pampered cows ever. And I think what we'll probably use these for a lot is calves that we'd normally leave in the yard that are going to be fine anyway, but could just do with that little bit of extra attention. We'll probably pull them out and put them in here now. It's one of those things that kind of wish we didn't need to use, but I think it's going to make an absolute massive difference. So I'm really pleased to have these going, have these up and running. We're just making the bar for that far end, and I'll keep you up to date with the lights and everything else over the next week or two as we get them finished. But well pleased with that. Now, I mentioned earlier on in the video about an advert I saw on the television on Tuesday night that really got my back up. And I thought I'd just explain to you what it was and what I did about it, because I think it's quite important. The advert was two people sat on the sofa ordering a takeaway, and they were like, oh, let's go on the new app, Just Meat. And it's spelled M-E-A-T. So they went on this app and they were like, oh, what should we have? Should we have this? Should we have that? And they settled on some pork dish. And then their doorbell rings and they answer it, and the delivery driver's at the door with a piglet and a meat cleaver. And he hands the meat cleaver over to this couple and says, oh, we have a free gift for all of our new customers. And they're like, oh, okay. And it turns out that this advert was for a charity, and it was a vegan charity called Viva. And it's like all about stopping meat production and whatever else. And I was just like, well, that's a load of rubbish. You know, like, firstly, you don't kill animals with a meat cleaver, and you won't kill a piglet. And it just seemed a little bit weird that they were kind of using Just Eat's name, but changing it a little bit. I don't know if that was allowed. So I thought, oh, this can't be right. So I went on their website, which is viva.org.uk, and just to check out kind of what they were saying to people. And on there, they'd listed all the industries. So they got like beef, lamb, pork, chicken, whatever. And under there, they were saying why you should turn vegan. And they were saying, like, in the beef industry, that you should turn vegan because all animals are slaughtered between the ages of 11 and 12 months. Well, no, they're not, because that's illegal. And that all calves are dehorned without using any anaesthetic. No, they're not, because that's illegal. And they're saying that all dairy bull calves are shot at birth because they're useless. Well, no, they're not, because that's illegal. And I'm sure there was loads of things in the other industries that I'm not aware of that was just complete rubbish. And I decided that because it was really annoying me, that I was going to go and speak to the guys at the AHDB. Now, if you don't know what the AHDB is, it's the Agricultural and Horticultural Development Board. That took some saying. And what their job is they do lots of research for us. And one part of their business is that they actually fight this kind of misinformation for us. Now, they did a massive campaign with Oatly, who did a bit of a smear thing on dairy industry, and they won that, and Oatly got a massive fine. They make oat milk, for those of you who don't know. So I thought, well, I'll get in touch with them, see what they can do. And I emailed them and explained what my concerns were, and that this, as a charity, surely they must have to meet some sort of a standard. And it turns out that they do. So now the AHDB have raised that with the Advertising Standards Agency, and there should be something now happening with this whole Viva campaign. Should be sort of, they break 3 rules, I think. I can't remember exactly what they were, but they break 3 different rules. So they're going to have to sort that out and perhaps take the whole advert off air. And why I thought it was important to mention is because the AHDB are going to be doing a Shape the Future campaign pretty soon, where any levy payers who fund the AHDB, now for those of you who don't realise, we all fund it as farmers. Every animal that we sell has a levy. Every ton of wheat and corn and whatever we sell all has a levy paid on it, and that funds the AHDB. And why I think it's important is because a lot of people don't realise what the AHDB do for us. They do so much, and if it wasn't for them, something like this advert would just go completely unchecked and no one would be there to fight it. So I think it's really important that if you are a levy payer, that you register to Shape the Future in the Shape the Future vote, and make sure that we keep them, because if we do lose them, we're really going to regret it when we get further down the line. And that is it for another video, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you wouldn't mind giving me a like and a subscribe, I would really appreciate it. Now I'm keeping my eye on these girls behind me because they are bagged up like mad. These are the heifers, and we've only had like 4 of them calve, I think, so far. So we are really waiting for them to blow. They're going to go absolutely nuts any day soon. Also, remember to let me know how you are doing out of 10. I'm feeling actually a little bit more chipper because we've just ordered our fertilizer, and you know what, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. And I do have a little bit left in stock as well, about 1/3 of what I need, so that's really, really good too. But until next time, look after yourselves, and I will see you all soon. Bye.